A lot of triathletes will also ask us what kind of maintenance, what kind of things they should be doing to make sure their bike's running properly. Now there's a number of different things. We're not going to get into any of the advanced tune-up services and things like that, but there are a couple areas where you should invest a small amount of time on a periodic basis. What Mark's going to show us how to do is a simple chain cleaning. The chain's one of the most important components on the bike. And it depends on how much you're riding, but every few weeks to a month, every few hundred miles, you want to make sure your chain's clean and lubricated. It's going to make it last longer. It's going to make your bike shift smoother, and all the components the chain runs through last longer as well. If you're riding in foul weather, doing a lot of riding in the rain, bad conditions, you're going to want to lubricate more frequently. But for today, we're just going to focus on what a typical chain cleaning looks like. So Mark's going to take us through that right now.
Okay, we have a bicycle here that we're going to clean the drivetrain on. And as you can see, it's a lot easier to work on the bicycle when you have it in a stand. If you don't have a stand at your house, you might find it easy to just lean it up against a wall. On the floor, I have a piece of cardboard or something else to absorb any of the drippings that might come from the cleaning process. So you want to make sure to protect whatever surface that you're on so you don't damage that. There are a number of commercial degreasers and bike-specific degreasers available to accomplish the mission of cleaning your chain. One product, Orange Peels, is made by Pedro's. There are a number of other companies that make orange-based products. The nice thing about this is it's generally very kind to the environment. Most of these are water soluble, so with a soapy bucket of warm water, you can wash this off. Some of the drawbacks to this is that it can attack certain components on your bicycle, so you need to be very careful how you use this and what components you use it on. Another degreaser is made by Finish Line. This is Speed Degreaser. The nice thing about this is it completely evaporates once it gets onto the bicycle. You want to use this in a well-ventilated area though, like most of the cleaners that are petroleum-based, because it does have quite a bunch of fumes that are kicked up by it. Very quick, very easy, and it blasts grease away like very few products do. Another favorite in the bike store for doing many things would be WD-40. This is an excellent degreaser. It has some lubrication properties, but you're really not using it for lubrication. Like with all petroleum products, you want to be careful when you use these because they are highly flammable. Just beware when you do that. Generally, this is something that works on most of the components on the bicycle. You can use this to clean without doing too much damage to any of those. So this is what I'm going to use on the chain today. We have the chain in the large chain ring in the front, and it's about in the middle in the back. And you can pedal this in either direction, forward or backward. In a stand, obviously I have the luxury of being able to do it in both directions, but if the bicycle is on the ground, you'll have to pedal it backwards. So I'm just going to pedal it backwards, and I'm going to direct the spray right onto the chain where the cassette is in the back side, and just give it a few squirts, and that should be good. And what I'm going to do is just continue to backpedal the chain to help get the WD-40 into all of the links and pivots on the chain. And after that's set up for a minute or so, depending on how dirty your chain is, you can begin the next step. And for this step, I'm going to use a brush. This is one that's made by Park Tools. The really nice thing about this is it has very long, stiff bristles, which gets easily into the chain. And on the back side of the brush, it has a nifty little device that's thin enough to fit in between the gears in the back. So if you have a lot of residue buildup on the cassette, you can slide this between the gears and get it out pretty good. The same thing with the chain rings. Works good at getting in those spots. So with a brush like this and my handy t-shirt rag, I'm just going to put the rag underneath the chain, and with the brush I'm just going to scrub the chain, and I'm going to move the chain back, and I'm going to scrub forward and move it back. So the goal here is to try and get some of the bristles of the brush to go between the links on the chain so you can scrape off the residue that's built up on the inside of it. And you can do it in this manner, or you can do it sideways to help get a few bristles really in there good. And this isn't the only brush that you can use. I found another brush, the grout brush. This is actually used for tiling in your home. It's really good because these bristles are exceptionally thick. And you can get these for a couple dollars, usually at the local hardware store or even a home improvement center. These work great as well. So after I've gone through the chain a few times, I can do the next step in the process, and that would be I'm going to use my rag to wipe the residue that I've cleaned from inside the chain off of the chain. Once again, you can go forward or backward. I'm in the stand, so I can easily go forward. And I'm not simply just bringing the chain through the t-shirt in this manner. What I'm actually doing is I'm using my fingers to create kind of a little S loop in the chain, so as the chain goes through it, I'm getting more of a cleaning process going on because the shirt is contacting more of the link. So you can't really see it through the t-shirt, but I just demonstrated with my fingers. After you've done that, you want to clean the sides of the chain, so I'm going to have the t-shirt in this manner. I'm just going to squeeze it between my fingers and run the chain through it as well. With any wheel that's moving, you need to be very careful that you don't get your fingers caught in there, so please be aware of that. It can really hurt. I would like to say I've never done it, but that's not the case. So we're going to clean the side of the chain. And if you want to be a little bit more particular, what you can do is just kind of clean each individual link with a scrubbing motion on your fingers. Obviously I'm going to use the rag for that purpose, but I wanted to demonstrate. And depending on how dirty your chain is, you might need to repeat this whole process to get it adequately clean for your needs. So I'm just going to run it through the rag a couple more times here. And no matter how clean your chain is, you're almost certainly going to be pulling residue off. So don't look at your t-shirt and say, my chain is still dirty. You can look at the chain and see that it is very clean, it's very shiny. And that brings us to the final step of cleaning and lubricating your chain, and that would be lubricating it.